Hey, go to sleep. Okay, I want to say I want to get the Tushinoku. I'm gonna pause that real quick because I'm also gonna go into what was wrong with that scene. Hmm. Um. Okay, so I think I can take this mousetrap. I can't capture the Tushinoku here. But what I can do is come here. I'm going to that room real quick. If it lets me. Yeah, it lets me. I'll set my mousetrap here, and I can come back and pick it up later. Maybe it's in the weapons. Yep. So I come back a week later. Now let's eat hornet's nest.
Who wants more?
Okay, so we'll come back to that. So the problem with that scene, again, I mentioned this earlier. I don't like the whole oh, we all speak English to get across it. We're all just really human underneath. How about like when he's talking to command, he talks in English, and then when he talks in, or even have an option, give me the option where I can switch the vocal track and have it to where when he is talking to Russians, they speak in Russian. You can have subs, that's fine. I don't need dubs, I want subs. So, do it that way. I didn't like that. Too, is he a contractor for the CIA? Then that might technically make him an agent, but even then, not really, because in intelligence parlance, an agent is synonymous with an asset, and an asset is somebody you recruit to gather information for you. So, CIA employees, they're officers, they're case officers specifically. Case officers, or in Snake's case, he would be a paramilitary officer. He would not be an agent. The CIA people that are working directly for the CIA, they are not agents. They're officers is the proper term. You can be a CIA case officer or an operations officer is synonymous with case officer. Paramilitary operations officer, a specialized skills officer. These are types of these are all officers, and operative would have been okay. You could have said he was an operative, a CIA operative. That would have been fine too, but not an agent. So that part was incorrect. What else do we have? I will say they did get right that so the Siloviki, that's what we call the Russian intelligence services, the Russian security apparatus. The Siloviki are extremely competitive, and so it is not outside the realm of possibility that GRU would have killed KGB to try to get dominance. Like GRU and KGB have always been in direct competition with each other, and after the Soviet Union fell and it became the Russian Federation, then KGB split up into SVR and FSB. But now there's that three tier competition there between SVR, FSB, and GRU. Although FSB and GRU tend to be the ones that are front and center, but yeah, between KGB and GRU, absolutely, I could absolutely see competition between them that could turn lethal. So that part was accurate. I had to do some research on the berets because the berets I'm aware of. So a little quick history on Spetsnaz GRU specifically, which is what Ocelot belongs to. Spetsnaz GRU, their modus operandi is to wear the uniform of whatever the parent unit is, so they can blend in. So most of the time you'll find them in VDV, which is paratrooper units, and I saw the Maroon Beret, and I was like, that's Western. Westerners wear the VDV. They wear the Maroon Beret. Russians wear Cornflower Blue. Well, actually, turned out, as I researched, that wasn't the case up until the late 60s. And so in the late 60s, the Soviets decided that a Maroon Beret was too Western. So they went to the Cornflower Blue Beret as for their airborne troops. So that part's accurate. I didn't notice any beret badges. I did read something that said that Russians like to wear their beret badges over the right eye as opposed to the left eye, which is where the United States wears it at least. I think the Brits wear it there too, and maybe the French. But I read that. But yeah, that part that they are wearing what would appear to be, I don't know what that uniform is. I've never seen a Soviet uniform like that, but the beret part's accurate. They would be wearing maroon berets because they wear the berets of the parent unit, and they would be posing as paratroopers. That part's accurate. I don't know how, maybe through the black uniform? Because all the Soviet uniforms I've seen are like olive drab. But maybe that's how I identified him as a member of the Ocelot unit. But that also defeats the purpose of wearing the beret to blend in, because now you stand out. So that part was, yeah. I don't know what Snake meant by ejecting the first round by hand. That part has stumped me for over 20 years. I'd have to research that to see exactly what he's talking about. The other part, too, that maybe just scratched my head was, you see a kind of AK that the Ocelot soldiers are carrying, and it has a certain kind of handguard, and it has a certain kind of folding stock, and it identifies it as an AMD-65, which is a Bulgarian AK derivative. Taking aside the anachronism, which there's a lot of anachronisms in this game weapons-wise, and they kind of explain it away by saying this is a developmental research area, so they're coming up with prototypes of things that would come later. Okay, I can suspend disbelief for that. What kind of stumps me is that the Russian culture, very Slav supremacist, and then on top of that, they're very Russian supremacist. So they put any Slav, and I have to check if Hungarians. Let me check. I'm gonna check it, fact check myself. Okay, so actually, this plays into it. Hungarians are not Slavs. They say that Hungarians are a Finno-Ugric people. I don't know what Ugric is. Let me check that. Ugric. Okay. So yeah, they're not Slavs. So the Russians would be looking down on them to begin with because they're not Slavs. If they were Slavs, Russia would look down on them because they're not Russians. So with that, it comes into why are they using Hungarian derivatives of the AK when the Russians arguably invented the AK? I mean, you talk to some people, they think that Kalashnikov just stole the design from the Nazi assault rifle and then just called it a Kalashnikov and said, cool, it's mine. He's kind of stole the idea. That's one popular theory. But, yeah, they have AKs, and I think the AKM had been made by this point. The AKM 59, yep. So, the AKM, I believe, yeah. So actually the AKM becomes less durable because the AK-47 had a milled receiver, so they took a block of steel, drilled all the holes out that they needed to drill, put all the parts together. AKM went to stamped metal, and it's cheaper. And if you're a communist nation, then absolutely you want cheaper production, but it's not as reliable as in comparison. The AR series, those are all milled receivers. We don't stamp AR receivers, to my knowledge. So that's where it's a sturdier rifle. You get better performance out of it. But yeah, they would be using AK-47s or AKMs. Why are they using AMD-65s? That just, I'm like, I don't fucking know. But the CQC is cool. There's that. But yeah, those are some things I noticed. And I didn't like the America is truly a frightening country. And not elaborating. Like, if you had some commentary to make, have some commentary. If you just say that and then drop it, then it strikes me as just anti-American sentiment. Which, okay, yeah, it's a Japanese game, so they've got a reason to be anti-American. At least, especially Hideo Kojima. He's very anti-nuclear, which, ironically enough, is a position I share. But just seemed like a dunking on America moment, just to dunk on us instead of actually providing some meaningful commentary. But yeah, that's about it. That's about all I've got to say. Let's what the hell? I want to see. I think there's something on the roof. Let me go check what's on the roof. I'm gonna change my camera too because I don't like that fucking. I'll keep the splitter. I'm going to Tiger Stripe. I don't know if Tiger Stripe was a thing in, for at least this version. Because I know we got it from, I want to say the French might have made it up? I'm not 100% sure. I know during the later years of Vietnam, Tiger Stripes were a thing. Oh, good, back up there. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I kind of still did my mouth shut. Oh, I almost broke my damn leg. I'm trying to get a no death run, so I'm not going to kill that guy. But alrighty. Alright, I got the keratin in this area. I got all the keratins in this area, so